All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, whereas the Atlanta Braves were expected to win the National League East for the fourth consecutive year, they've gotten themselves some stiff competition this year from the division's most northern team. Now, after producing losing seasons in 3 out of the last 4 years, the New York Mets currently find themselves in the catbird seat in the NL East. After 56 games, the Mets are 32-24, and with a 4-game lead over the Phillies and a 6-game lead over the Braves, New York is starting to gain some traction and most importantly believe in themselves. A lot of this can be credited to the Mets pitching staff. They have the second best team earned run average in the National League at 3.13, only behind the Padres, while their opponent's batting average of 221 is fifth best. You look at what Jacob deGrom has been doing this season. I know that he was taken out of his start last night early due to an injury, so the Mets are hopeful that he can be ready to go. Personally, I would allow him to skip a start, but that's not my decision. But you look at what the contributions that the Mets have gotten from free agents, their big free agent signing over the offseason in Taijuan Walker, as well as veteran starting pitcher Marcus Stroman. And the Mets really are, that their pitching has been able to keep them afloat. And that's important because their offense is really not there right now. They're last in the National League in runs scored, but they are starting to get healthy. Pete Alonso is back. His bat looks like it's starting to come around. Catcher James McCann has had a good week or so. And even Francisco Lindor, who they acquired from Cleveland over the offseason, he looks like he's finally starting to show signs of life. And that's big because the Mets have the likes of Michael Conforto, Jeff McNeil, and Brandon Nimmo on the shelf right now, and the Mets are hopeful to get them back. But, anyway, anything that they can do to stay afloat with that offense is important. And, you look at the Mets because they're in the middle of a big test. They split 4 games last weekend with the San Diego Padres on the West Coast, and this week they've come back, and so far they've taken this series to 2 out of 3 from San Diego, and that's important because the Mets are in the midst of a big stretch. After they finish with the Padres tomorrow afternoon, they've got 4 at home versus the Chicago Cubs. After that, they've got a 4-game set on the road versus the Washington Nationals, as they are going to be really getting into the meat and potatoes, if you will, of their National League East, portion of their schedule. Right after the Nats, they've got a 4-game set with the Braves, a 4-game set with the Phillies, a makeup game with the Nationals before finishing the first half of the season with 3 in Atlanta, 3 in the Bronx versus the New York Yankees, and then a little dabbling in the National League Central, first with the Milwaukee Brewers, and then 4 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. But you look at this Mets team, the replaced Mets were able to keep this team afloat, and now they're starting to get some reinforcements. And I think this is big because you look at it, and, a lot of people, myself included, pegged the Braves to win this division. And obviously, there's still plenty of baseball left, about 100 games left. But make no mistake about it, the Braves, they can't get out of their own way. They have a lot of things going on right now. And now the Mets have put themselves in a position like, we're the team to beat in this division. You looked at it for, the first month or so, maybe 5 or 6 weeks, give or take. And nobody really was looking like they wanted to take the bull by the horns in the National League East. Both the Marlins and Nationals are beginning to taper off. And, you always expected the Braves to turn the corner, and maybe the Braves are just who they are. Maybe they're just going to be a 500 team this year. The Phillies have had their struggles, but for the Mets right now, this is a prime opportunity for them to go out there and get it done. Luis Rojas as their manager, I don't think he's getting enough credit for keeping this thing afloat like he is so far this year. And of course, new owner Steve Cohen is going to give this team all of the resources needed and then some for them to go out there and compete. And then you have a veteran calling the shots in this in the front office in one Sandy Alderson. So I look at the Mets. They're starting to get fans back in the stands. That's going to be big for the team's morale. Like I said before, this team is believing. And you know what? if you're the Mets, you got to have a philosophy right now. Why not us? It's a situation. They look like they're going to be in it to win it. They're definitely going to have a say in who wins this division. And now that the way that things are shaping up right now, the other teams in the National League East that are looking to compete for this division crown have to say to themselves, you know what? We've got to buckle up and deal with the Mets. It's important because, like I've said before on previous podcasts, and I'm going to continue to say it, if you are in the National League Central and if you are in the National League East this year, it's imperative that you go out there and win your division because the way that things are shaping up in the National League West with the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers, I really expect both wild card slots this year in the NL to come out of the West. So everybody who thought that it was going to be a slam dunk or a home run in this case that the Braves are going to win the NL East, think again. They've got a lot of good competition, but right now the Mets have set the pace for everybody else in the NL East. So folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.